tell me your prompts again.
So
just the premise of what you're gonna prompt, because I had a comment on that.
all right.
With what's going on in your head.
So the prompts are you are showing up to this new city, right? You're brand new.
Well,
guy.
so you're throwing me 3 prompts.
I'm throwing.
And
three
what
prompts.
you told me literally off camera was it's either gonna decide
The
if
fate of the world. It's gonna decide the fate of the world. You either create an evil genius, right? Or you convince the evil genius to basically be like, nah, I can use you more effectively than you think you can use yourself. Because here's your scenario.
But let me just say this: you have this like a beautiful fascination with world saving.
Yeah, because I just want the world to not be on fire.
And I get that, but it's just funny because you have the perspective of like, live long enough to see myself become the villain.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean?
No,
or
yeah.
die a hero.
Right. No, like I approach every day like this. I have 2 thoughts every day. The first thought is, how can I be better so that way I can become like the next Steve Jobs and actually use that power for good? Or which one of these cops are going to arrest me and frame me for murder and then turn me into the person that just wants to destroy the world? That's my mentality. And then I approach my day.
I feel like that's some shit Batman thinks about.
No, like that. Okay, like hear me out, right? I'm a regular guy. I'm probably, if I'm being generous, I'm below average. If I'm being generous, I'm below average. I'm not that guy. Like, you don't see me show up.
You're not that guy.
No. Like, what?
No, we'll speak about that off air.
Okay.
That was kind of funny though. It's funny how that ties in, doesn't it?
All right. Well,
we're just. I'll fucking say it. Before you got here, I was like, I didn't realize you were coming.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, oh, Kendall's on his way. He's just picking up food. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, but he's been texting. I'm like, oh, awesome. I'm like, the bar for you was set so low. I'm like, as long as he's up and as long as he's being kind of responsive in his texts, we're good. Like he's gonna. We know he's gonna be a few minutes late of when he said he was gonna be here, but like, as long as he's got those 2 check marks, we're good. But it was just like. And it was like, yeah, so that's setting the bar pretty low, huh?
No. Like, high key, this is what I mean by
if you're running 100 meter, if you're running the 100-yard dash, 100 meter, 110 meter, the hurdles would probably be at your ankles. That's it for you.
If you guys are like healthy, strong, living individuals, I'm like that guy in the corner you poke with a stick every so often just
see if you're alive.
You know, like One Piece, how like everybody's like, yeah, my bounty's like 30 billion or like 45 million. I'm Chopper. Like
you are
like a solid 50.
No, you know who you are. You're Buggy. You're Buggy. You're fucking Buggy.
I would be Buggy.
That's you.
But like, how do I become a warlord?
But that's the thing. That is you. No, that is you. You would make it happen. But like, do you deserve that title?
No.
It's arguable.
No, you're right. Because I'd totally show up somewhere and be like, I'm here to do this one thing, and then somebody goes, hey, we need some help over here, and I'm like, is that where I'm supposed to be going? So I show up, and then they're all like, perfect. So you're the administrative something.
Oh, you're like King from One Punch Man, where you just happen to show up with a fight
every single time.
Everyone just thinks that you killed it. Oh, he killed it. You're just like, I didn't do it, dick.
No, like, high key. So check it out. This reminds me of this story. So my dad's like, talk to this guy, get an internship. So I talked to the guy. The guy's like, we're not giving you an internship. And I was like, fair?
Talk to the guy. No.
Well, it's because I messed up. They pulled some bullshit, and I was like, okay. So they were like, we're gonna have a meeting on Friday to discuss internship ideas with you, and get you comfortable with like what jobs you'll be working. I was like, dope. I'm there. Give me a time. I'll be there. Friday comes around. I'm texting him. Hey, we having this meeting or what? Nothing. Dead silence. I was like, okay. So they gave up on me. Moving on. Sunday hits. I got to pick up my roommate from the airport in like an hour. They're like, yo, hop on in the meeting real quick. So I was like, okay. Hop on in the meeting for an hour. The guy's plane lands. He's sitting outside the airport. And I'm just like, still in his meeting. I'll come get you. They talk for another half an hour. They haven't even started talking about internship. They're talking about their own personal work bullshit. So I was like, listen, I gotta go. Like, this was cool and everything, but like I gotta do this thing. And so they were like, I guess you don't want the job that bad.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, fuck you too. And then the dude calls me up last week and goes, yo, you want to do me some favors? I was like, what are these favors? He goes, so there's this guy. He created basically the ASIC programming world. And he doesn't know how to software design worth a damn. So he's like, I need you to help him with his website. And I was like, So now I'm in this whole,
Are you doing it?
no, I'm not going to do it. The guy was going to pay me $500. That ain't shit. Because I talked to my dad about it. So the thing is, this project, for me, where I'm at now, I have the refresh on Python, refresh on HTML, refresh on backend, get the surfer information, get all the information, and to have all the access I need to and actually get stuff done with this. That's like a month. That's like a project that's going to take at least a month, if not 3 weeks to 2 weeks, right? So that's all that time while I'm in school for $500. My dad was like, I'll just give you $500. You don't need to do all that. Then the other thing is the guy has this, is a weird guy. He's taking care of this dude he used to be roommates with. And that guy has a nurse, and that nurse has a son, and they just lost their father. So the dude and the guy's mother, they lost the father. So they were like, so he is a mechanical engineer, and we're going to give him your internship, but he doesn't know Python. So we need you to use your student email to get him a student subscription to MATLAB.
No, that's not happening.
Right. So I was just like, I can't do that because you need a course in order to get that student subscription, or you need to pay, right? Like, I'm not just going to use my student email and basically be like, yeah, I'm a student, give me MATLAB. No, that's not how it works. You need a course. So
That's sussy. That's super sus.
Right. The guy is super sus. So that's why I was just like, I get it. Because I'm that dude that just shows up, and then all of a sudden there's this big thing surrounding me. It's like rolling around. I'm just like, how did I get here? And I ask myself, how did I get here? And it takes no time.
Talk about the soda machine.
Yeah. But so this is what I'm pitching.
Yeah, so go back to your pitch.
So you are, right? So you're living in a world post-apocalyptic, but they have structure now. You work as a basic police officer, but you're top branch police officer right now. You're investigating in this town because there's a dude here that was running their entire back end. So basically hospitals, schools, buildings in general. They had one dude taking care of all that technological wise, getting energy where it needs to be.
That's dangerous, already.
Right. And now he's missing. You're in the town, you show up. Where's the first place you check? Look for this guy.
Well, I have to really get good deduction on where to check. I need to know where he's been. I need to know who he is, and I need to know what he's about.
So where do you want to go first? You want to go to where he used to work?
I would check, like, first thing I would do is collect as much information on the guy as possible.
Okay. So where do you go?
So, but like, okay, wait. So this is a community that's been built.
Right. This is a solid community like San Jose, imagine.
So
right?
San Jose sized community.
Naturally false. Rancho Marietta sized community.
So very small.
Very small.
So like Walking Dead kind of community built.
Walking Dead kind of community built, yeah. But they have like energy and technology, but it was all relying on the back of this one guy, and now he's missing.
Well, if he's that big of a staple in this world, in this small community of a world, right? The world of a small community, like, I would be asking everybody who has any connection with him.
All right. Okay.
That's the first step.
So then you walk up, you meet this guy. This guy was his manager, effectively. Not really his manager, but he's the one who connects that guy to the government. When the government says we need power to build a new school or something like that.
So there's already government built in this small community?
I say government. It's like a group of like maybe 5 people
like
here,
a council?
like a council that are just like, what do we have going on right now? You have councilman. I'm bad with names, so I'm gonna say Meshuggah.
Meshuggah.
Councilman Meshuggah. Councilwoman Avril Lavigne. And council. I'm gonna make it a council of 3. That's too many names. Too many. Anyway, you have the councilman in front of you. You're talking to the councilman. What do you want to ask? What do you want to ask him?
What's been his past activities? What has he been doing lately?
Well, as far as we're concerned, he's been just doing his job. He goes home to his wife and kids every day. He enjoys his life.
Okay, like what does it mean when he's saying he's enjoying his job? He has so much responsibility. Like what's been his latest focus?
Well, his latest focus is we're trying to build a new hospital down on 7th Street over here, so that way we can get a lot of the inner city people immediate need whenever they need it. Right now, we've been mainly doing, like medical bay stuff down by the pier if they can get there in time. But now we're really trying to make sure that we get this hospital up and running.
Question.
Yeah.
How long has it been since we've known he's been missing?
So you see Councilman Gruff, the guy who like is in charge of like police force and stuff like that. He's like going like, well, if we're being honest, he's been missing for 3 weeks.
Why did it take us that long to go, okay, let's start a search now?
You don't understand. This man is not well known in the community. He is not. We understand the stress that we be putting on our people. If we go ahead and tell them, yes, everything you depend on, the lights in your house, the microwave that we've just so graciously been given out to our people, that relies on one man sitting at one desk somewhere.
But to the poor people, why take 3 weeks for us to start a search? Right? It's not a matter of getting the name out there. It's a matter of we're sitting back on this for 3 weeks on a guy who's carrying literally the world on his back at this point.
Well, you gotta understand. I don't know you. We don't. People here are very.
So have you guys been searching?
We've been searching. Why do you think we called you? You are our last resort, if we're being honest.
So where have you checked?
Well, we've checked everywhere. This is a small town. You can't really get very far. We checked his place of work. We checked down by the lake, the pier, we checked the red light district down there. That was real fun. Okay. Serious guy, kid.
Okay.
But we've checked everywhere.
So then we retraced what exactly was the day where you guys realized he went missing. What was his last activities?
His last activities was getting us the equipment we needed down to start building this hospital. But after that equipment got there, a few pieces went missing, and when we went to go ask if he could get us more, he was gone.
Does he have a workshop?
Yeah, he has a workshop. His desk, like we were saying, the one desk he has. This whole thing relies on that one man. You gotta understand. If you go down to his place of work, which is a little hidden out, because you gotta remember we're trying to keep this hidden. I can give you that information. You can get down there.
And then I would go there.
All right, you go there. You see it empty. You see one building, nothing around it but a couple trees. It looks like this used to be like an old mental ward. Like where they put people that they were like, listen, let them get help for now. But
starting to sound like Shutter Island.
Well,
is that the plot twist in this game?
I am interested to see where this is going, because I know you're trying to investigate right now, but like you're gonna have to go. All right, so that was the first scenario.
Okay, so we get into the building, or like I've assessed the surroundings of the building, and then deem it's safe enough to go in.
What do you investigate? You walk into this room. Let me build a scene for you. Walk into this room. You walk to the building. You see a front desk, like a receptionist area, completely empty. It looks like they didn't even touch this building.
Okay, wait. Before, so like as I'm still talking to the counselors, I need to know about who this person is. Like, what's his personality like? Like, get me in his head.
Get you in his head. Well, from what the council members know about this guy, right? They don't hang out with this guy. They don't really know anything.
So
if you want to learn about this guy, you gotta go talk to his family. You gotta go talk.
So even the council people don't know about this man.
They know his background, right? From before the collapse.
How much history is built? How much history do we have about this guy?
Well, we know his pre-collapse history. He was running a startup where they were working with basically it was a program that helped kind of create a hive mind of all technological all technology would therefore work as a hive mind. So basically if one piece has the command to go do this, but that piece isn't working right, other pieces can come help because they all understand the task at hand.
Okay.
So basically, if somebody at the hospital, somebody gets shot halfway across the city and they need to make it to the med bay, the security cameras are already picking up that they got shot, and they're already sending the signal to the people, to like the ambulance people, to pick them up. Right? They're trying to create an entirely like I don't know the word for it, but the entire city, at least on a technological level, is self-dependent. They don't need to go ahead and say, "Hello, 911. How can I help you today, sir? Your tone isn't going to help with me right now as I'm moving as fast as I can." Right? He was working before the collapse. He was working on technology to automate all that.
Okay. So before I'd enter the building, I'd actually have to go see his family first.
All right.
I need to get into the head of this guy.
So you walk down to Parkmore Avenue. You meet up with this beautiful home. You see this beautiful home is painted blue, right? Nice flowers in the front yard, a nice white picket fence. Which is white paint is hard to come by, after the great collapse. So you walk in, you knock on the door, and this nice, small, frail woman opens the door. Her name is Judy Hopkins. Hey there, sweetie. How can I help you?
Excuse me, miss.
Real quiet over there. Real talker, huh? You're talking to the lady right now.
Well, I have to be like, how old is she?
She's.
Is
50.
it a good assumption to say she's the wife?
She is the wife. This is
Okay.
the wife. Yes.
So she has the age to be the wife.
That's the age to be the wife.
Okay, then are you the wife of Mr. So and so?
This guy's name is called Richard Hopkins.
Okay. Are you the husband of Mr. So and so?
Well, I'm.
I mean, if we're gonna role play this shit, are you the husband of Mr. Hopkins? You fucking.
You wife?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. I'm his wife. Are you here to? Do you know where he is? Have you found him yet?
No, we're actually in an investigation looking for said person.
And right as you say that, you see their 13-year-old
It
son
don't matter.
come out the door. He goes,
That's gonna be the reality of things, dude. It's been 3 weeks. It's not hit. That reality hasn't hit them until now.
They're freaking out right now. They're freaking out. Their dad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the assumption for their heads would have to be that he's gone missing. If it's been 3 weeks,
They know he's missing. They asked you if you found anything about him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You said, well, you try to play. I don't know. When you said the kid comes around the corner, that's not gonna change my
No, because
investigation though. You know what I
Right,
mean? That's not
but-
gonna change my tactics on how to go about things.
that's what I'm trying to get at, right? You're in this story right now, right?
Mhm.
You're an investigator, right? You're in this lady's house investigating her missing husband.
Yeah.
You're
But I'm not-
talking to this lady, and now their son is here in the room with you.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Their son comes out. He's looking at you. He's confused as fuck. He's like, "Who is this person?" Because you don't look like the police that they have in the city. You're an official, like
Private eye.
private eye from the giant government that is trying to rebuild itself after the Great Collapse. You got to remember that. That's your backstory. However you want to play that character is fine, but you gotta realize that, like, in the situations that I'm building for you, you're there. So when you want to ask the DM real questions, you gotta specify, because I thought you were talking to the lady.
So they know he's been gone for that much time.
Right.
When's the last time you saw him? Like
3
recount the story, recount the activity of the last time you saw him.
Well, a couple weeks ago, he came in. He was really, really frazzled. If I'm being honest, he came in and he was like, what I call this lady, Mary Hopkins, Judy. He was saying we have to leave and that the entire system is corrupt, and even beyond our small little town, across the shores, across the world, everything is wrong. Everything from before the collapse is apparently going as planned, he said. And then after that, he told me we needed to pack up, and then he said he needed to grab some things from his office, and then we would be on our way, and then he never came back.
So everything before the collapse is planned. So everything up to this point has been part of like a long-term global plan in his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
This is me talking to myself.
Yep. This is how we do D&D. What are you recording on your phone? Oh.
So
we're only doing this, by the way, because I want to run through a little world building with him, and then we're gonna hop back into our normal conversations.
Okay, so I mean, is there any other information I can gather? Like, what was he like prior to that frivolousness?
Oh, he was so nice. He came home every day after working those long hours. He'd grab me and he'd say, "I'm home." And then we'd sit and we'd watch the Teletube with our kid. We have this favorite show we like to watch called Gladiators Royale. It's really fun. Have you watched that show?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's amazing. Count Smash-A-Lot is beautiful.
No, I'm a fan of the Tribal Ninja.
The Tribal Ninja.
Yeah.
Oh, the Tribal Ninja. I don't know. I think he's a little too quiet for my taste. I like Count Smash-A-Lot. He's a showboater. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
love that with the hammers and the spikes and the whole
I like
blah blah blah.
I let the actions speak louder than words, but that's just me.
I don't know. I think if you put Count Smash-A-Lot and Tribal Ninja in the same room, my money's on Count Smash-A-Lot.
All right, good. Duly noted. Duly noted. I mean, does he have any history or any like past medical history, anything like that?
Not that I know if he was as healthy as a horse, and that's for 56. That might I tell you, post collapse 56.
Is that a horse I'd put down? Is that joke too soon? Okay, I'm sorry.
Are you? Are you saying you'd shoot my husband?
I didn't shoot him. I'm looking for him
You're looking for him? Why?
to bring him back. Do you not want your husband back?
I would love my husband back. I don't know if I want the man who's gonna put down an old horse bringing back my husband.
Would you rather have horses go? We're gonna get into the semantics right now, Miss. As time ticks by and your husband's gone.
All I'm saying is, you asked me how healthy he was. I told you he was healthy. You said you asked if he was an old horse you put down. Now this might just be me being scared because my husband is missing for 3 weeks and he told me a bunch of things that seemed pretty scary. But I think you're not taking this seriously.
So, I mean, in the face of danger, you kind of have to laugh sometimes, right?
You see the son come up and go, "Is that man going to shoot Dad?" and you see the mom like comfort him and everything like that. And then you hear the son say, he did have this weird thing. He didn't let anyone ever go into the basement, if that helps.
Of the house?
Yeah, of the house.
Well, I definitely did not build a rapport enough to go into that basement. I can tell you that much.
They'll let you if you flash.
If this was serious, I would be fucking 100% professional about this shit.
Yeah, this was a real
life scenario. Those jokes would not be flying.
Right.
But it's you. So
yeah, it is me.
They kind of had to fly.
Right. Yep. I know it's you. I don't care. The kid though, the kid's pretty freaked out now.
You're hella dumb.
If you flash your badge though, right? Like you could probably get into this basement.
Well, let's revamp that. Let's retcon to that. Well, let's say I go with how I usually would go into professionalism, and eventually I would, for the sake of comfort, I would identify myself, obviously.
Yeah.
And I would say which organization I'm working for.
Okay.
And if that basement holds any sort of help into accessing or finding the lead to where your husband may be, then it would be in great utilization if I had access to that.
All right.
Just me. No one else.
No one else.
No one else needs to know.
The mom, right? Or the wife,
Mm-hmm.
hears the son mention the basement. You ask to go into the basement. She brings you to the basement.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're opening this door. It's
On guard.
On guard.
I'm on guard.
Okay.
I'm
It's
always on guard.
completely black inside this basement.
Flashlight
Staircase
on.
going down.
Light switch?
Light switch on the bottom.
Okay. Well, I go down the stairs.
You turn on the lights.
Turn on the light.
You see this guy looked like he was preparing for something. He had like just entire racks of technology, hard drives, weapons, rations, all these things just in this basement. And off in the back, you see a computer with the terminal open that says password.
Do they know the password? Does anybody else besides the man know the password?
They don't know the password.
Okay. Is there anything that stands out in the open besides like the small description? Is there anything that's like If I assess the room, is there a desk with like papers scattered or?
There is. So where the computer is, it's like, it's like one of those really messy work desks where it's like where the keyboard is and the monitor is clear, but like everything off to the side is like stacks of papers and binders and like stuff like that. You want to go through that, and I can tell you what you find.
Yeah.
All right. So for the most part, you see a lot of binders that are like city planning, right? So it's like if he wanted to work from home, right, it'd be a struggle, but he could do like a few things when like the council members call him up in the middle of the night. And they're like, "This is going down right now. We need this access to here." He could do that. And then you do find a journal that recounts his days as the technomancer for this whole city.
Mhm.
And when you read that journal, you see it's a lot about how when he first came to this town, he had nothing. Him and his family were they just barely made it out of the collapse, especially being, the collapse was only like 5 years ago. So being like 51, definitely older with like a really young son, it was a miracle that they even made it out of there, and he's super grateful that he made it out of there and found this city. But then, as he'd been working there, he got a little. You can start to tell he's getting bitter over how they're not making like the changes. You can see like he made requests to the council members several times to change the system so that it's not completely dependent on him, and so that way he can have like a couple more employees there. But the council members always shot down whenever he would ask that, and you don't know why. He doesn't know why, but basically the council members were like, "No, you don't get."
What were his suggestions?
His suggestions were simple, like I can't do this on my own. I need at least a team of like 5 to 10, right? And it can't just be all from one computer terminal. And the technology that they are asking him to implement, right? It's not implemented everywhere. This is the technology he personally was working on for his startup before the collapse.
Mhm.
So the technology they're asking him to implement isn't really for just building back up a society. It's for building a society that's far beyond what everybody else is currently dealing with in terms of like life status and quality of life. So they're clearly, you can tell that like clearly the council, from what he says, is putting the quality of life over actual rehabilitation of their society, right? Because you see, like he's been doing this on his own for 5 years now,
Uh-huh.
or 3 to 4 years now, and they're just now building a hospital.
Is there any other like usable information out of like the journal
Yes.
or around the room?
If you go to the back of the journal, you have a list of codes, uh, and one of them might be the password to this terminal.
Um,
I'm gonna ask you to pick a number 1 through 5.
what do the numbers represent?
Which code you're gonna try out first?
I'll try the most recent one.
The most recent one. So you're gonna try number 5.
Yeah.
All right, you put that in. The console unlocks, but it's not the same console that it was before. Now you get this little like pop-up window that's just like security cameras are us. Like you type in the serial number for a security camera, and the binder's right next to you if you want to go ahead and check anything out. But that's all that happens.
So it has access to the cameras?
Yeah.
Well, then I would check any footage of seeing him go anywhere.
When you check the cameras, you see the man, right? And so now you know what this man looks like, right? So he's this old, scruffy man, not a long beard, just that old, the jowls of an old man, and the gray hairs of his face, and his hair is completely white. You see him turning around an alley by his workspace, not an alley, but like leaving his workspace and then going to the back of his workspace where there are no security cameras, but you see him looking really frazzled. He's looking around. He thinks he hears something, right? And then that's the most recent security footage from the building. It looks like all the recordings that would just be like passive, like looking at trees, nothing's happening. That's all been deleted.
Is there any way, like, If I put in a different passcode, would something else happen on the terminal?
You could try.
Well, obviously I'm going to.
Which one? You
The
have
second
1 through
most.
4.
Go 4.
You go to 4. The console doesn't do anything.
Okay, 3.
The console doesn't do anything and it shuts down. Because you tried 3 commands in there, right?
But the first one worked.
The first one worked. Oh, so you have one more chance. Okay. Doesn't do anything.
And then I'll come back to it.
You come back to it?
Yeah, I'm not going to try and shut down the terminal by guessing 1 or 2.
All right.
So unless I know for sure, I'm taking the journal with me.
All right.
I'm going to assess what I saw at the camera. And go to that scene.
You go to that scene. You're back at his place of work. This is your last scenario. Okay. After this, you figure out if you saved the world or didn't. I'm gonna just say you go to where he works inside the building. Okay, you're there, and inside the building, you see a lot of things. You see a lot of machines, like machines that don't look like they would be used for construction or hospital equipment. These are machines that look like they were from a secret government project that was building weapons before the Great Collapse.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the terminal. The terminal's unlocked.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let's go through that first.
When you open the terminal, you see a bunch of files. You see the files that basically say this is how we are planning to build the hospital. You see the files that are like this is how we keep track of our people to know where they're going.
Are there any files in there that stand out?
That
are out of the norm of what he is doing.
That
what his job description is saying.
You see this one file that looks like it would just be a generic text file, but when you look, but the reason why it stands out is because if you look on his desktop, you have all these other files that are like these go into codes that connect to technologies that go into running the whole city. But this text file is just a generic text file on his server. It doesn't connect to any technologies. It doesn't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm assuming you're going to click on that.
Mm-hmm.
So you click on that, and then when you click on that, you see a link. And that's curious to you because you don't have internet here. You don't have like Google or anything. You have one, so it's one link.
What's the link's name?
The link's name is Project Aborn.
And I can't access it.
You can if you click on it, but if you click on it, something might happen.
Yeah. Is there anything else in the room worth noting?
Well, you do notice that the sun from before when you were over at the house followed you in and is now hiding behind one of the machines in the room.
Had I not noticed his presence before?
You did not notice
my
his presence
pistol
before.
would be out.
He waited till you like even left the car, like made it well into the building to even attempt to get inside.
Well, if I heard him, my gun would be in hand right now.
Your gun is in hand right now?
Yeah.
All right.
Because I don't know he's behind me, right?
No, you do know. You inspected the room and now you see him.
Oh, well, the gun is not in hand.
You see him.
I'm going on the assumption that right now I just hear footsteps, and it'd be a draw.
Nah, he's hiding behind.
Or I would at least take off I would have it holster ready.
All right, holster ready. What do you say?
But I don't, because I know it's the kid, so I don't have to do anything. So I'd question the kid. Why did you follow me?
He's trying to help. I'm here to help you. I want to know where my dad is.
Okay, how can you provide help?
What do you need me to do? I was pretty close with my dad. If you need any insight.
Has he said anything about Aborn or anything about
Aborn? That sounds like the friend that used to come over to the house. Yeah, this real general looking guy. He would always wear full black suits and he had stars along his neck. And he would always show up to the house randomly and he would always bring nice gifts. That's what I remember. He was a really nice guy.
Stars on his neck, tattoos?
No, like gold stars on.
So he's like decorated.
Yeah.
He's working for the government or he's working for the military, giving nice gifts. He's being incentivized. And the text file is just a link.
It's just a link.
Just a link.
And if you click on it, something will happen, but you don't know what.
Is there anything else to assess in this room?
Not much else, right? You have the technologies working on. So like, if you wanted to try to see if you could figure out how his programs worked in order to like create this like automated city, you could probably take a look at that. But other than that, the really only thing that stands out to you is the link and what the son has said about the thing.
This guy, Project Aborn, brought tons of gifts. What was their relation like? I mean, I know that you said he brought gifts. Was a nice guy.
He seemed like he was a work friend of Dad's from before the collapse.
Work friend,
Like
was one of them a manager, or like, you know what I mean? Like, in terms of hierarchy in their workforce, like based on their
he was never at
Mannerisms.
Dad's job whenever I came to visit. He would show up at the house, he would have a couple questions for Dad, and then he would leave after bringing the gifts.
gifts. What kind of gifts?
You know, chocolates, a bottle of wine for mom.
Born. I'd click the link.
Click the link. All right, when you click the link, it immediately brings you to like this encryption file, and like automatically the whole thing decrypts instantly, and you see all these files about potential attack zones and how other countries around the world and even in America are rebuilding their cities and stuff like that, and coordinates to where those cities are and who's in charge of them, and like all this confidential information about how the world is rebuilding, which is weird because that kind of technology shouldn't be able to be accessed after the Great Collapse. We're talking nuclear fallout, Great Collapse.
Mm-hmm.
And this man has a link, just a normal link in a text file that takes him to all this information about all these places all around the world. And then on the bottom, on the last little window that pops up, you have this security camera footage of a giant machine that they're building in a random bunker somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like it's not like for hospitals or school or construction. This looks like it's a weapon. It's a weapon that like they're trying to build. And then finally, right, the end of the scenario, right, you see the son walk up to you, and he puts a gun to your back.
So I should have had my gun ready. I knew it.
He puts a gun to your back, and he goes, "Do you know where my father is or not?"
He's in a bunker. How much information do I know about this? In terms of, like, you said I'm high in the government.
Yeah.
Would I know if I presented this information?
If you presented this information
Would they
about General Aborn, right?
Mm-hmm.
General Aborn is presumed to be dead in the whole thing, right? You wouldn't know that, but when you click on the link, it gives you all the information. It's like General Aborn is still presumed to be dead in terms of what the government knows.
Why the weapon?
You're asking the kid, or
yeah?
He goes, "That's not important. I want to know, do you know where my father is?"
Why do you have me at gunpoint though?
Because
what's the urgency?
Urgency? Do you really not understand what you're seeing here? This is artillery superiority. What you're looking at right now is the next generation of weapons. We don't need nuclear bombs anymore. We just need this.
You're pointing the gun at the wrong person.
Am I? General Aborn says if I help him, I don't have to worry about my family ever getting hurt again.
But you're looking for your father.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you with the guys who stole him?
I don't know where. I'm just as lost as you are in this shit in terms of looking for your father.
General Aborn told me you were showing up today, and then when you did show up, you got all these questions about my father. A government official from the main city has not been here in 5 years since our construction, and now all of a sudden you're over here because the council members asked you to be here? You're seeing this whole thought. You're seeing this whole plot like thicken up because you're right. Because he's right. No one from the main city's ever been here. They don't care about the city. Now all of a sudden, you're showing up.
I'm not here to turn in your father, or if that's what you're jumping to conclusions on. My task that I was given when I stepped into this godforsaken city. I'm just kidding. I don't know how good this city is. But my task was to find him. That's all I'm trying to do. I was not given any other direction besides that.
And then to end this thing, right? The dad now, right? You see a final window pop up on the window. It's a video. It's a video like a conference call, right? Or whatever they're called. It's like a video link where it's like a live feed, sorry. It's a live feed of the dad in like a chamber somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "Son, you don't understand. Put the gun down." And then right as that happens, you hear a gunshot go off. And you see General Aborn shoot the son. The son is bleeding out on the floor right now. General Aborn looks at you and goes, "It didn't need to be this way. It didn't need to be this way. He got too close to something he really shouldn't be messing with. And now you're getting just as close. So I'm going to ask you right now. You either walk away, I'll take care of this, or I have to clean up 2 bodies instead of 1. What do you do?" He's by the way, right? He's not like close to you. Like if you wanted to pull out your gun right now and take a shot, you could.
He'd be like, okay, well, what are the... Okay. I know if I ask any other questions prior, like, onto this scene, it can spark a reaction.
Mm-hmm. What you know now is the son knows more than he was telling you. General Aborn is building weapons, and the father was helping him with that. Whether you know the father was willingly helping him with that or against his will, you don't know. All you know is he knew you guys were in his office the whole time. He knew where you were this whole time. And he's now just only made himself known because he knew his son was going to kill you, and he didn't want his son to do that. How do you save the world in this instance?
Well, with the father's absence gone, this city is going to shit.
Yeah.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we plan on... If you must have thought this through enough to cover this shit up, unless you're just willing to let this city go up in flame.
Who cares about this city?
So yes, so okay, so that's the presumption.
General Aborn knows that if this city did disappear, okay, I want you to make your decision I'll give you the whole context of what was happening here.
How good am I at firing my pistol?
Since there's no dice in front of you right now, I'm just gonna say if you choose to fire it, you will kill this guy.
What if I don't want to kill him though?
If you don't want to kill him, you want to take him hostage?
Just want to disarm him.
You can do that. I'll say you can do that, right? But you have to look at this, right? If you wound him, you still have a bleeding. You still have the son of Richard bleeding out in front of you, and then you also have General Aborn bleeding out. And you have 2 bodies you have to get out of this building and patched up, or else the son's gonna die.
Well, if I shot the general in the leg or arm, essentially it'd be like disarmable.
Right.
Tourniquet, whatever I shot.
Mm-hmm. But if you shoot him in the leg, right, then you got to carry his body out of there.
I could drag him. It's not like the building's exploding.
It's not. You're right. But that would have been smart. I should have put a detonator in his hand. All right, so you shoot him in the arm or the leg?
Yep.
All right, he's down.
Disarm the weapon, kick it away, pull it out of the chamber, clip unloaded, and then a tourniquet or assess whatever wound he has,
And what about the kid?
I'd be going straight to what is it? Emergency medical response on his ass.
All right.
As much as I could in terms of is he salvageable in the terms of like Salvageable.
If you took him,
Can I save his life?
If you took him to the med bay, you could save his life. If you don't, he will die. But that requires you loading him into the car and getting his body to the med bay.
How far is the med bay?
I'll say this: you can't capture both of them. So you could try to capture both of them, but General Aborn is not injured enough to the point where if you left him alone for 5 minutes that he couldn't get away.
I would take the general first. I'd throw him into the trunk of my car.
Okay.
And then I'd take the kid. I'd take him to med bay. Just get him over there, and then I'd take General Aborn back to the site, and I'd interrogate.
All right. I'm going to end it here. On the way to the med bay, the son bleeds out. He's dead. And then that's the end of it. I was only going to run through 3 scenarios. I didn't want to make it a whole thing.
You did.
I did make it a whole thing, but it was 3 scenarios. You talked to the council, you talked to the family, and then you went to the place. So that was it. To know how it ends, basically, because the son is dead, the father is just now finishing General Aborn's work. He releases a weapon. The weapon takes out any person that they believe to be a threat. And now there's this evil genius running around with a weapon that nobody can fight against. And he's grieving over the loss of his son.
I mean, what could I have done to stop that?
You could have let General Aborn go and saved his son.
That would have finished up the weapon.
That would have given you more time to disable it.
But the weapon's not even in sight.
No. But what would have happened is, had you saved Richard's son, Richard would have been like, "No, I'm on your side now." Richard doesn't know who you are. Richard just knows you're here to investigate him. By saving his son, he would have been like, "Nah, he's the one that cares about. You're a good person." Instead, you chose to do the logical thing.
But isn't it logic within good? I mean, my actions wouldn't have been any much more like time consumptive than
you. I guess okay. So there's a lot of things here, and then we'll get into world building.
You're arguing with logic right now.
I'm arguing with logic because I didn't give you full details.
No,
because I didn't want to go that deep. Basically, you were in the basement level of this building, of this government building, right? And so you would have had to grab the kid and then grab. Oh, I'm dumb. You're in a mental hospital. You could have just been like, "I'll go up and get the medical supplies." But basically, the way it was going to work is it's either you would go get the medical help the son needed first.
I would have done that, yeah.
But then General Aborn would have escaped.
I mean, I could find a way to make him not I don't know. I could have thought this through to like done both. But it's like the Spider-Man thing, right? Like in Spider-Man 3 where he's like grabbing both. Or like Dream Goblin has a trolley full of people and then his girlfriend.
Yeah. And
he saves both.
Yeah.
I'd be doing the same thing. Essentially in my head. That's the choice. It's not one or the other. It's both.
But the thing is I'm not as the person telling this story, I'm not going to give you 100% of the information, right? Like who's with General Aborn, who's hiding somewhere where you can't find him, who's going to help him escape if I go to help out the kid first, right? You don't know any of that information. And I didn't want you to know that information because you got to make the choice.
I did make choices.
You did make the choice, and you did the right thing for your job for releasing the bad guy. But now you have General Aborn, so
I did the right thing for. I mean, again, in my head, I could do both.
Yes.
13-year-old boy, not the heavy. I can't.
Right. And then you could just drag General Aborn.
If I needed to, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
If he wasn't being compliant.
If he wasn't. You're right, yeah. But then you don't know who's here to help. Because the thing, what was supposed to... So, that takes us into our episode. World building.
Man, I think this is the episode in and of itself.
Because of all the fucking scenarios I'm pitching at you?
Yeah, this was just a scenario episode at this point.
It was a scenario episode at this point. You did really well. You did. I wasn't ready for how much thinking you were genuinely gonna do.
It's fucking Steve.
Yeah,
I know it's fucking. No, I know.
I literally put
Steve.
myself into the role.
Right.
I was like, when we started this, and we kept asking like counter questions, like, how did he see the skull?
No. I knew he was gonna.
Literally.
My thing was when he was asking those counter questions, he can't ask me. He's asking the character he's talking to.
Yeah.
The character he's talking to doesn't have the same information I have. So the information he had was what you were going to get. So when you asked those counter questions, I knew I was just going to answer them with either I don't know or I do know, and here's the information, and that's what I did. Right. Also, by the way, none of those passwords on the journal were going to work.
I gave up because I was like, if unless I find more information,
Right. You
because
did the right call.
it's 2 out of there's if I tried number 2 or number 1, right, and the terminal closed, then there would always be that looming thought,
Right.
that one of them could have worked, and I just guessed wrong, and I don't need that. So if I could find more information to debunk that first, then I will.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna play this guessing game, right?
Which
I
is
was thinking, okay, most recent makes sense, right? Why would you go 1? You'd go 5 because it's the last one written down. I don't know. It was
No, you did. I think me personally, I loved it. I loved it because I knew you're gonna be very like logical and critical about your thinking. But like, damn, that was nice. He caught me off guard so many times. I was like, damn, maybe I should give him all this information. But I wanted to get back into the headcanon thing that we were talking about. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to take the full episode to just
we could do the full episode. This the next episode we could do the head
Yeah,
count.
we're gonna do another one after this anyway, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so well, it's over now. But I want to just talk to you about like why. So you were an investigator, right? Why were you being so critical about like what's going on and who? Because like your goal was to look for the guy, but you didn't. When you saw the security camera footage of the guy walking around towards the back, you didn't look behind the building. You just went back to the building and into the basement. I want to know why.
Oh, I said I wanted to go to the scene of where he was last seen at.
Oh,
So if he was behind the building, that's where I would have been and looked at.
oh, I thought you.
But you said he went straight to the building, and I was like, okay, maybe there's nothing important back there.
Oh no, I thought you were saying.
I would have gone straight to the
back
scene.
the
The way my
office.
mind works is, in that scenario, if I'm an investigator and someone's gone missing for 3 weeks, I need as much information as I can about him.
Right. I gave you all the information you were going to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the point where, like I said, I have to be in this guy's head and I have to know what he's knowing, in a sense. I have to understand how he operates. I won't be able to find this person if I have no idea what he's about.
Yeah.
Why is he making these decisions? What's making him make what seems like irrational decisions to his family and friends and to this council that relies on him?
What I was trying to throw your way was the mentality that his whole thing is just protecting his family. His whole thing is just like, I don't care what happens as long as my family is still here because we survived.
Well, I kind of understood that because, like, if you're making these crazy ass projects and you're a family man, like, you have to have some kind of core value there. So I knew that understanding completely.
Okay. So then, what pieces of his mentality were you missing in terms of? Because you weren't gonna find him.
If he cares about his family that much and leaves without saying anything, I mean, I get that.
He was kidnapped.
Okay, so I kind of figured that too.
Yeah, General Aborn
Right,
definitely
said it was
took him.
frantic frivolousness.
Yeah.
So I kind of had an assumption that he was kidnapped.
Yeah.
Now.
So understanding that in what I was pitching you weren't gonna find him. The end of that scenario was literally going to be you're going to have to make a choice between saving his son or taking in the guy who is trying to build a weapon.
And I did both.
And you tried to do both. You tried to do both. Now, if there were dice in front of us, we had a chart down here, I would have been like, roll for it. And if you would have rolled like, I don't know, I wouldn't even make it a nat 20 roll. If you would have rolled like a 15, right? I would have been like, all right, you got it. Saved his son. You postponed the second apocalypse for this much later. But in the whole grand scheme of things, if this was going to be a whole D&D thing, it would have been like General Aborn had like people like outside protecting him and stuff like that. But because you were like, let me try to disarm him and throw him in my trunk and then save the guy, right? I was like, okay, So then you're choosing to capture him over saving the guy because you're more focused on making sure Aborn doesn't get away, but you wanted to save the kid.
I mean, worst case scenario, if I put myself in that. I
I
have
like
to
your hat,
assess
by
this
the
in
way.
a
It's
sec.
a cool hat.
Thanks. I have to assess this because it's that one life over millions of lives kind of prompt right here.
Exactly. That's why I love story building. That's why I want to do the D&D thing because that's
Mhm.
what I'm trying to throw your way.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it becomes a thing of understanding the assessment, right? Because if the kid got shot,
Yeah.
I could almost know immediately like the criticalness of his condition.
He was critical. He was gonna go in the.
But there's like a timestamp you could put on critical.
Yeah.
Critical. Oh, he's bleeding fucking a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think I can get to the med bay fast enough.
You
Right.
could have. So if you had just been like, if you would have talked to Aborn first, right, and been like, we need to help this kid out, then that would have led into you saving the kid, right, and Aborn getting away. Those were your two options in the scenario where
Yeah.
that I'm building.
It's very linear though.
Yeah.
Right? Like my expansion of options goes from like save a life or do my job to like I think I could do both.
Yeah.
Or like I can assess the situation. The kid is not gonna make it. Okay,
Right.
well, do I cut my losses or I still put in the attempt?
Right.
Well, if I put in the attempt knowing he's not gonna make it and now the bad guy's gotten away, I've just X'd out on two things. Right. I've taken a double loss right there.
Right.
You know, if the kid's worth saving in the sense of like he still has time on his clock, how much time can I utilize to do it? Right.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got like a good 30 minutes. He was wounded in the arm. Okay. Then I would
It
go
was-
after the general
It was a hit. It was like a shot right
towards the like
towards the hip.
like
The
bullet
love handle.
penetrating this way or like
bullet coming from the back, and then it's lodged and is where the kidneys would be.
I mean kidney. Oh, I mean, the only thing would be internal bleeding. So again, knowing my like not fast, because not that fast, but knowing my knowledge on EMT, I would treat it immediately. But at the same time, this guy has a gun to me, so there's no like, I don't know. He just said the kid got too close. I don't think he would be wanting the kid alive. Was already my thought. You know what I mean?
So the thing was this, right? Full storyline. This is what's happening. So the giant council, so this city, right? That's super technologically advanced because of this guy was just a test city. So and I want to say this, right? I'll give you another shot because I want to do an episode where I get Cassie and Charles here, and Vanille will be here, obviously. And we could do a quick D&D thing like that. And I'll have everything ready for it. And then you'll have another shot, and you can definitely save the world then. But basically, the whole story is you have this giant government council that arose after the collapse of the United States during the Great Collapse. And then General Aborn, who is presumed to be dead, actually isn't dead. The council member that takes care of defense in the Grand Council, that's like in like where the White House used to be. They were using this city to test that guy's automation technology to see if they could use it to basically advance their society up before their enemies could advance their society up, and then just gain superior weapon superiority, and then just go all out like they controlled. The reason why the guy shot the son before he shot you was because they needed you to find all that and then bring it to the council so you could put a voice on it, and then that way people would be questioning who are our enemies, why do we need these weapons, get the people riled up, and then when they do finally release that weapon, there's a support for it, and it's up to you to take it down.
Do I know that the person who shot the kid was the general?
Yes, you do know it was General Aborn, because when you clicked on that link that said Aborn, a file about him being deceased popped up, and it had his face.
Would I kill him? Had I killed him, saved the son, what would be the result of that?
Had you killed him, saved the son, the father would have given you the location of where he is to come get him, and that so he could be with his family again. And then you would have had where the weapon is, what's going on, and you would have had the information before it had been leaked. So you would have had executive decision on whether or not to destroy the weapon or let it go. But that would have only been Steve, look at me right now, okay? That would have only been had there been a fourth scenario. But there are only going to be 3.
Okay.
Interesting, right? I feel like I did a pretty good job with that. Not really, but like, because there were a ton of information we needed.
A lot of plot holes.
A lot of plot holes. But for something I just came up with on the fly to see how he would react, I feel like pretty solid. You want to go with me? You want to see?
What's that?
You want to try to do the same thing?
I don't know if I can create a story like that. How long have you had this story?
Thought of it as I walked in.
Really?
Yep.
So that was just a random story you created.
Just a random one. Characters and all. Yep. That's why there were so many plot holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot more information I would rather have like taken out of it. There's a lot of things I would have liked to have known.
That would require what? How
We'll
long?
have to do it another episode. I'll have to think of one.
Yeah, no. When we do it in another episode, I'll bring charts, like grids, and then you can move.
Mine will be less plot holy.
Yeah.
For you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna put in the same amount of thinking you put in. I'm gonna be like,
I'll choose this because
I'll be like, I'm gonna murk that A-born fuck, and then I'm gonna put a belt around this kid's waist. Yeah, I would have been like, sucks.
Game's over.
Right, game's over. World ended.
You didn't even make it to scenario 2.
High key. You could have just been like, you could have just shown up, guns blazing, to the council. Fucking where's?
Okay, Rick.
Where's
down.
Richard?
Rick and Morty. That's some Rick and Morty shit.
That's what isn't Rick and Morty like the epitome of world building?
Yeah, but that's the thing too. It's like we don't know. We'll have to put like a kind of an end to it on this. Well, like bring it to Rick and Morty, right? Rick in one of the seasons he destroys the council of Rick, but we don't know why.
Right. And all he says is I'm the Rickest Rick.
Yeah.
Right.
So he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah.
So like, but at the same time, like, we don't know in the backstory that like he meant to do that on purpose or if he didn't.
Well, we did learn. Remember, he
We
actually
do now.
built. Yeah, we do now.
But that's beyond season 3. I think season
season
3 is enough to drop. I think it could spoil season 3 and not have people get upset about it.
Yeah, but like season 3 came out like what 2-3 years
But that's
ago.
what I'm saying. Like I can drop season 3 spoilers and it not be considered a spoiler anymore. But if I talk about season 4 and 5, that's like
everybody's seen. Oh, is season 5 out?
Yeah.
I finished Rick Marai
Jack.
Yeah, Rick Marai Jack.
Is that? Well,
That's the one with the crows where Evil Morty.
Yeah, that's season 5.
That's season 5.
Season 4 ends with the Star Wars theme.
I don't remember that.
But
I need to watch that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it off air in just a second.
We'll talk about it later because we don't like spoilers in this house.
So I guess next episode we'll go back into headcanons and actually talk about headcanons.
We'll go back into what I just did and why it was what it was, so you guys can kind of get a better understanding of what's going on.
But on that note, I hope you liked our little storytelling there and our little scenario game plan. What decisions would you have made? I wonder.
Me?
I'm just
or them.
I know what decisions you would make.
Yeah,
you just told me your end game.
My end game. Yeah, no, I would have.
Oh,
yeah. Okay, he got me. Yeah. Yeah, you got
How
me.
you got there? I don't know. You'd stumble upon that.
I would have gone straight to this place of work and been like, "Fuck's going on here?" Knowing my ass, I would have been like, "Is there a secret compartment somewhere? Like, is there a hidden lair in this building that I just don't know about?" And go in there and then probably get captured.
We were just talking about this. How your girlfriend, your
fiance,
is the person who would like look for Easter eggs. That's literally you.
Yeah.
She is playing you right now.
Yeah.
Or you are the character she's playing in a video game right now.
Yeah, I know.
Instead of like trying to assess things, you're just gonna go, "Oh, this was pretty."
Well,
This
okay,
world's pretty flimsy, isn't it?
I'm sort of like that, but like when I have a clear goal in mind, I'll be like, I don't give a fuck about anything else. I'll just go straight to the source and see what I can find. But on that note, it's your boy Waffles,
And your boy Maui.
and this is Couch
Couch
Surfing
Surfing.
Story Time.
Peace.
Peace.